I was going to teach you guys how to use the trifold, and I wanted to jump in the car and show you guys how I use my trifold, how I use my license, registration, and proof of insurance put together so smoothly, how my hands are already up at touchdown position before the cop comes up. I've got my license, registration, proof of it. I have everything ready to go up here. The very first thing that you want to do, since you're being pulled over by the cops, you want to establish your touchdown position with your arms. Do you see how I'm doing it? You see how I'm doing it? This arm is up and in the window, just like a goalpost. My hand can be seen right here through the window. This is the first step that you're going to do to establish that you are not armed. The cop's behind me. He's got his lights on. I'm going to establish touchdown position with my arms. I don't want to die because I got pulled over and my hands weren't at a touchdown position. Do you see that? I don't want that cop to kill me. I have established my touchdown position. My hand is in the window. My other arm is holding the phone. The copper can see my phone through the back window, so he can see my phone. The phone lights up. My other hand's in my window. That cop right now can see both of my hands, and so the likelihood of me being shot, sorry about that, it drops significantly. See there? I caught the phone because I don't want to die because I'm reaching down. Don't want to reach down. Elbow goes in the windowsill right there. The cops pulled me over. Cool. Right here, I've got my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. I got everything right there. See that? My hands never got to go below the steering wheel. I never have to reach anywhere else. Not at all. I don't got to reach anywhere at any time. This is as far as I got to go right there. That's it. That's as far as I go right there. See there? My hands are up in the air. The cop cannot mistake my hands in the air. This camera phone is a giant light. My other hand is right here. Got my window slightly cracked 3 or 4 inches. My doors are locked. Now, cop is going to want my license, registration, and proof of insurance. I've got it right there. Boom. Right there is everything, including a copy of my identification laser copied. My hands never left below the steering wheel. Do you see how that works? Do you see how that works? Now, he's going to say license, registration, proof of insurance. I'm going to give that to him. There you go. He's got my license, registration, proof of insurance. I've now provided everything I have to provide by law. I gave him my license, my registration, my proof of insurance. I had it ready to go for him because I knew this moment would come, that I would be in the situation with the cop behind me and I would need my license, my registration, and my proof of insurance. If you live in America, you will be getting pulled over. Now, he's going to say to me, do you know how fast you were driving? Do you know why I pulled you over? I pulled you over for NRS code blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to reply to him as I slide my trifold down from my visor. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I'm going to show it right to him. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. I'm not going to answer or play that game of, do you know how fast I was going? Do you know why I pulled you over? I'm not here to play that game with you. That's not the game I started my day off doing, and that's not what I'm going to do now. The answer is no. I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If he asks another question, I'll show him the list here. It says right there, don't ask me where I'm coming from. Don't ask me where I've been. Don't ask me where I'm going. Everything I need to provide by law is in the slip below. I got it on delete laws. That's where I got it. I don't have to answer any questions at all. Well, where are you going? I'm going to look right at the camera, not the jackboot, and I'm going to say, I've already invoked my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. It's right here in writing. It's a clearly established Fifth Amendment from 1793. That's my Fifth Amendment right. I've given him everything he's supposed to get. That's it. That's how I respond. My hands have never gone anywhere but here. Do you see that? I'm not going to get shot. Do you get it? And I got to check that jackboot thug pig who I always have wanted to check, but I didn't really know how to check him just right. By invoking your Fifth Amendment right, he cannot ask you another question. His questioning ability has come to an end. You guys have seen me do it on the DUI stop. When I went through the DUI checkpoint, he said, "Do you have anything to drink tonight?" And I said, "I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent." And he said, "Have a nice night." You can't question me anymore after I invoke my clearly established Fifth Amendment right. And then you can check that jackboot thug pig. You don't have to put up with that nonsense. You don't got to put up with that. This is how it works. This is how you do it. If I need to hold my arm up, look at this. Look what I'll do. I'll take my armrest right there and I stick my elbow right on it. Do you see how I do that? You see that? Your arms go to a touchdown position. That's how your arms do it. Your arms go to a touchdown position. You see this arm elbow bend right there? Phone's at the top of it. There's the top of the goalpost. There's the other side of the goalpost. Now I've got a touchdown position. Copper can't say I was reaching. Copper can't say nada. I had my license, registration, proof of insurance ready to go for the jackboot thug pig. I had everything ready to go. License, registration, proof of insurance, everything was together on a laminated card. I already laminated it. I took my time to do it because I don't want this jackboot thug pig to have any kind of power over me. I gave you everything I have to give you required by law. Leave me alone at that point. I'm not going to play the game of why'd you pull me over. I'm not going to play the game of do you know how fast I was going. No, 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 no. We've seen time and time and time again that you end up going in torture cuffs, that you end up going to jail. You have to use the trifold. Then the cop says, "You know what? I want to search your car." And you say, "Okay, sure, you can search my car." And then you get out of the car. And then you turn around and you pull your trifold out and you say, "You know what? I revoke consent. If I can give consent, then I can revoke consent." And I revoke consent. United States versus Williams, 2018, 1991, Florida versus Gemino. Both say that if I can give consent, I can revoke consent. I revoke consent on camera. Now, from the 1914 case of Weeks called the exclusionary rule, he can no longer search. He has to stop searching. Anything he finds after the search, after you revoke consent, is no longer admissible in a court of law. If you have it on camera, doesn't matter what you have in your car after that point. You gave consent. He took your consent, used your consent. You revoked that consent, and then he searched your car anyway. It's now the exclusionary rule. No longer can he use it. Fruit of the Poisonous Tree from 1961, Matt versus Ohio. He shouldn't have asked for consent because you reinstated your Fourth Amendment right. Because if you can give consent, you can revoke consent. You have to have the trifold on you. You have to have it done properly. This is your position. Copper can't say he's scared. Look at that. You can see both of my limbs. You can see everything. My hand's up here. I have everything rubber banded in to my visor. I've got everything right there. That's how we roll every day when we roll. I never, ever, ever don't have documents and everything ready to go. Why don't you have your insurance, your proof of insurance, and your registration? Why don't you have both of those on a laminated card up in your visor? How come you don't have your registration and your proof of insurance on a laminated card up in your visor? Why don't you have it done? You're gonna get pulled over, Jack. You're gonna get pulled over. And then you're gonna say, "Man, I saw that guy's video. He showed me exactly how to do it. And boy, did I F this up. I had to turn my camera off to get my insurance out. And that's when he popped Johnny in the mouth." Who did? The cop? Yeah. He just hit him in the mouth? Yeah. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. You got a video of that? Oh man, it was right when I had to turn my phone off to get my insurance. Why don't you have your insurance and registration? Why don't you have it put together? Why don't you have a trifold in your car? It's absolutely ridiculous that you don't have one of these in your car. You get it on deletelaws.com.
You get it on deletelaws.com. What's up, Playboy? What's going on out there in the
He's 3 points, 3:09 to go at a barn burner here in
X, Facebook. What do you guys call it X, or do you, I mean, because I call it a retweet still. Welcome to another rendition of Delete Laws. We're going to get into some things really quick. Yeah, listen, go to my website, get a trifold. Go to my website, get a trifold. Go to Delete Laws and get a trifold. Buy one, get one free until tomorrow morning. I ran it through the whole weekend. Buy one, get one free. Go to deletelaws.com and get a trifold and get it in your car 100%. Deletelaws.com with a Z. Go there and get a trifold. and put it in your car. And if you need more than, I'll give you an extra. I'll give you buy one get one free. That's what I'll do. What's going on out there in the land of the unfree America? How is everybody? Team DLZ, can you do me a favor? Can you put into the comment section? Let me get rid of that. That is bugging me.
I was going to teach you guys how.
Yeah, like what are we talking about here? I'm not talking about that. Put in the comment section OTVO, overturn Terry versus Ohio. And that stands for overturn Terry versus Ohio because it does 4 specific things, Terry versus Ohio, the 1968 case. Number 1, it creates the entire officer safety premise that has completely ruined our country. Everything is based on officer safety. And then it creates the reasonable articulable suspicion, which was never a thing before. Before 1968, reasonable articulable suspicion was not a thing. And then number 3, it allows cops to run up and grab you, to pat you down. And then at number 4, it allows cops to detain you, which means torture cuffs on the ground, POW style of arrest. You're in the back of the car. And so that's those are the 4 tenets of Terry versus Ohio. And so let me open this up before we get into the breakdown of them torturing this dude through interrogation. I wanted to share this with you guys. I just saw this and I was like, I have to, before I go into the deep stuff, I have to show them something that's just like so typical. Watch this. Yeah. You just saw it. Watch. He goes over, this cop goes over and knocks over the kid's snowman. He just pushed it over. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What a total, complete, and utter piece of trash. Like, who does that? Who does that? That you have to be the lowest form of human being ever to go and knock over a kid's snowman. Like, what's wrong with you? I just don't get it. So I want to do a breakdown tonight on this murder confession, and it's pretty deep. This is pretty deep. This is not easy to go over. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into this pretty heavy. Let me say hello to a few people. What's going on? Don DeBomb. What is going on? Joel Juffus is here. What is going on? Chainsaw Cat, Little Monkey, Shakur Capital. What's the matter, you, Claudette? What is going on? Joel Juffus, Hot Dog, Houston Hot Dog, Gary Bryant. What's going on? Compadre Amigo, Jody. Oh, I wanted to say thank you to some people, but I'll grab my phone in 1 second. The Chosen One, Stomper, Don DeBomb. What is going on, everybody? Do me a favor. Everybody hit the like button. Where's Chevy? Chevy! I plead the 5th. Where are you? I plead the 5th. I do not see I plead the 5th. We will wait and see if he comes around. Roger Lane. What's up, Playboy? What's up, Playboy? So, and then remember, we do have Hendry's trial coming up next week. I believe it's the 19th, 20th, and 21st. So we have that going on next week. You know, free Hendry. April Rain, what is up, Playboy? Dan Hanlon, holy smokes. Ryu, Serious Audits is in the hizzy. All right, we're going to get into this. You guys, do me a favor. You can come back to the tubes, but pop over to X and live chat on X with me for a minute. Let's build, because the more people who are there that live chat real quick with me on X and then restream the stream, retweet the stream. Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I effed that up. I gave you. Okay, here it is. I see some people. Joseph Barbini is over there. Fantastic. Let me read some names. If you guys go over to X, let me give you guys some shout outs over there on X. So here is the link to pop over to the live chat on X, which this will be. I'm just going to test this out. There it is right there. There's the live chat on X. So I'm going to pop over here. Okay, cool. Joe W is over on X. Don DeBomb, thanks for coming over. I appreciate that. Shakur Capital, thank you, dude. So it's not as, I don't think it's as good as stream as YouTube. I think it's a little choppy. 56 people over on Twitter. So now grab the same link and go to your Twitter account, Friends in Code. There you go, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate you coming. Good to see you. Mo Rhodes is here. Okay, cool. So we're building. Make sure you go, when you go on your X account, grab that link and then retweet that link, and that'll bring more people. We're gonna do a full breakdown right now because I want to get into this. So thanks for helping me get onto the X platform. Thank you. I'm going to show you guys uncensored content the best that I possibly can without YouTube striking down my channel, which is what they've been doing. So you see the numbers are growing exponentially as you guys join me on X. And so now we're just making the stream bigger. So Brian, good to see you, man. Thank you for coming, Mr. Zanders. Right on, dude. Okay, cool. Let's grow it. Let's get a bigger following on X as much as we possibly can, so that if this social media channel decides to delete us, that we have a way to connect. And so make sure you pop over to X. Here's the link one more time, and then we're going to get into this video breakdown. I put the wrong one on the screen. It's still up there. This is the right one. Sorry about that. There it is there. Join me on the conversation over there, and let's build the numbers. Yeah, I see that. Now we have 100 more people here, which is great.
Murdered your dad.
No, I did
Yes, you
not.
did. Yeah,
Yes.
Daddy's dead because of you.
Hours of interrogation. Police lying to a suspect in the Inland Empire until he falsely confesses to murder. And now the city of Fontana is paying a massive settlement tonight after police questioned a man for 17 hours until he confessed to killing his father, who's still alive. KCAL News reporter Tom Waite joins us now with what led up to this false and really hard to watch confession.
It was, Pat, and I watched many hours of this intense interrogation, and it's very eye-opening, and we'll get to it in just a second here. But the video of the interrogation is fascinating and disturbing. An innocent man spends hours being grilled by police. When it's over, he's in the throes of a full mental breakdown, and under pressure, he lies to detectives about killing his own father.
We don't think you're a monster, Thomas.
Fontana police detectives grilling Thomas Perez Jr. after Perez Jr. reported his father missing. This interrogation descends into what's being described as psychological torture after the detectives extract a false murder confession from Perez.
We just told you we found your dead dad, and you don't give a
That detective is lying. Perez Sr. was not dead. But in this moment, Fontana detectives don't know where he is. Perez Jr. reported him missing after they had an argument. A search warrant was served at the family home. Perez Sr.'s wallet, cell phone, and even some blood stains were discovered. A canine also alerted to the odor of possible human remains. Detectives unleash an unrelenting interrogation of Perez Jr.
Murdered your dad.
No, I did
Yes, you
not.
did. Yeah,
Yes.
Daddy's dead because of you.
No.
What kind of sick, evil bastard does this to another person?
Yes, not only that, but poor Morgan here.
Margot.
Margot had to witness it.
Yeah. I walked through the blood.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The psychological effects of hours.
I'm so sorry.
Had to witness it.
Yeah. I walked through the blood.
Yeah.
I walked through the blood is what he just told this guy, of his father's blood.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they both reaffirm and gaslight him, telling him, yeah, we walked through the blood of your father's corpse.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
The psychological effects of hours of grilling take their toll. Detectives keep pushing.
Oh my God.
Perez spirals further. Eventually, Perez Jr. makes a false confession to killing his father. All this and
Oh my God. Oh my God. He's pulling his own hair out. He's losing his mind. And these guys both know that his dad is not dead. They both know it. That they know it. I want you to know that right now.
Detectives keep pushing. Perez spirals further. Eventually, Perez Jr. makes a false confession to killing his father. All this and
Oh my God. What kind of person does that to another human being?
71-year-old Perez Sr. was alive. He went to his girlfriend. Perez Jr. makes a false confession to killing his father. All this and 71-year-old Perez Sr. was alive. He went to his girlfriend's home, but didn't have his cell phone. Perez Jr.'s attorney.
The worst act of deliberate cruelty that I've seen suing the police for 40 years. I've been suing the police for 40 years, and I've never seen the cops be that cruel to someone.
Steering on behalf of Perez Jr. sued Fontana and won a nearly $900,000 settlement. This all unfolded back in 2018, but the case was just finalized.
I never thought that it was easy, maybe even possible, to get a completely innocent person confess to something like that. But after I watched the video and watched the interrogation of Tom Perez, what I divined is that they could get you and I to confess to killing Abe Lincoln if they wanted to. It's unbelievable. And they're not amateurs, and they know what they're doing, and they know how to do it.
Steering says even...
So this is a reaction video. I have to jump in and react here. So when I was wrongfully incarcerated recently for filming a JBTP, put it in the comment section if you know what it means, JBTP. When I was in the dungeon, I met a guy who had pulled out a big chunk of his hair. He had pulled out, he literally had ripped his own hair out. And it wasn't a small chunk, it was a chunk of his hair. And now I saw this and I see the guy ripping his own hair out. He's going mad because they're gaslighting him that his dad is dead, and then at the same time both reaffirming that his father is indeed dead and that he must have done it. And they did this for 17 hours. And eventually he actually says that he killed his dad, which the detectives know he's alive.
After detectives learned Perez Sr. was alive, they did not tell Perez Jr. After detectives learned Perez Sr. was alive, they did not tell Perez Jr. Instead, they had him held for mental distress.
Once they learned this, instead of telling him that because of what they did to him, they 5150 him. They place him on a civil protective custody hold, have him taken to the mental hospital, and then they tell the hospital that he's in custody and that he can't have anybody contacting him.
We reached out to Fontana Police and the city of Fontana before
before we keep going, we're 4 minutes into this video right here, and this is 4 minutes and 6 seconds, so there's 1 minute of this left. But before we continue with this, let me read you the response today from the Fontana Police Department. Our police department recently settled a lawsuit that generated misleading one-sided headlines, telling the story from the point of view of the plaintiff's attorney. In the interest of transparency, accountability, fairness, and maintaining community trust, I wanted the community to have the facts. I understand how difficult it is to be heard through all these noise these days. This was a missing persons case where the officers and detectives followed unfolding evidence that pointed toward a possible foul play. Or if you're a hammer, everything's a nail. Fortunately, the man was ultimately located alive and well. In the settlement agreement, the judge on the case noted that a reasonable juror would agree that the officers had sufficient evidence to suspect a crime had been committed. Whoa, we're talking about what? The judge on the case? Whoa, if you're new to Team DLZ, what do we know? The judges in this country are completely against you. Completely. Remember, in the holding recently, the judge said a reasonable jury would have found probable cause to arrest me for filming the police. That he wrote that in the federal ruling. On the afternoon of August 8th, 2018, we received a missing persons call from a man who said his father had been missing for 17 hours. He told us that his father had gone to get the mail with his dog the night before. The dog was returned, but the father didn't, and his wallet, cell phone, and keys were still in the house. We noticed the house, and particularly the father's bedroom, was in disarray. The son explained that he had removed his father's mattress and some clothing and had cleaned the house with bleach. Officers became suspicious due to what they were seeing and what the son was saying. They asked him to come to so the son, that he had removed his father's mattress and some clothing and had cleaned the house with bleach. Oh man, talk about bad luck, right? But that obviously means you killed him, though. Around the same time, officers reached out to other family members and talked to the neighbors in an effort to locate the missing man and discover what had happened. The discovered described the son as mentally unstable and said he didn't have patience with his father. Oh, man. The neighbor told us the morning the father went missing, someone other than the father was seen driving his truck erratically. It appeared there was something in the bed of the truck and the driver oh, my God. Oh, my God. And the driver parked the truck in the garage. Well, now remember something here. Just let me help you guys out with something here. Whatever the cop says the neighbor said is what it is. So whatever. You're taking this at face value. Remember that. Which was unusual because the truck was always parked on the street. All of this details pursuant to a warrant. The evidence of the case was presented to a judge, and the judge agreed that probable cause existed to conduct the search of the residence. During the search, we found blood on the staircase and the carpet and the couch and the garage and the bathtub and the floors upstairs adjacent to the father. We reached out to the partner at San Bernardino County Sheriff's and asked him to bring in a canine that's trained to detect odor of human remains. The dog alerted to presence. Okay, so there it is. Now you're really, truly getting the truthful narrative. The dog alerted. The dog alerted. So there it is. There it is. If the dog alerted, we all know that there's probably a dead body there. That or the dog gets a treat. The dog gets a treat, doesn't it? So now the statement that they said they were driving the track, now all that comes into question. If you want me to validate your bull narrative on the truth, well, you just said the canine alerted, and so there it is. There it is right there. If the canine alerted, then it must be true. While the son was at the police station, we fed him and gave him his medication. Since he arrived at the police station voluntarily, it had always been our position he was free to leave at any time. He never asked to leave, specifically told investigators he had nowhere to go because they were still conducting our court-ordered search of the residence. At one point, he asked officers to drive him around a golf course as they were around the golf course pond, and he asked how deep it was and other eyebrow-raising questions. Don't bodies float? Oh man, it's almost like it's the perfect trifecta of him saying stupid shit. The plaintiff's attorney in media interviews focused on the amount of time the son had spent at the police station and questioned some of our tactics. CNN also printed misleading material, such as a photo of a door with blood on it, insinuating that the blood evidence was fabricated. That published photos was not taken by us, nor was it part of our investigation. That photos were produced by the plaintiff's counsel in court discovery process and never evidence in any police department investigation. In situations like these, it's acceptable and perfectly legal to use different tactics and techniques, such as ruses, to elicit information from people suspected of potential crime activities. That was done in the case in order to gain resolution. As Fontana's police chiefs, I have the privilege of working alongside the dedicated. Oh man, okay. So you can choose to believe it or not. But what about? Hey, thanks for the super chat. I didn't see who put that in. Roger Lane. So you can choose to believe the narrative, but remember, there's only cops investigating cops, and I find it hard. If you're a hammer, everything's a nail, and the cops, all they want to do is justify their actions, arrest people, and put them in jail. And that's what they think their whole job is. And so I don't trust the dog barking. I don't believe that the dog went there. Well, of course, the dog did alert. The dog did alert and say that he had caught a scent of a body because the dog gets a treat and an attaboy. So it's like, what are we talking about here? What's the truth? And that's where we don't know. Here's what the truth is. The truth is, we know that they interrogated the guy for 17 hours and lied to him that his dad was dead. And so any justification of that action is disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Even if he did, let's say he did off his dad, then you put him in a cell, hold him until we know whether or not there's a dead human being, because we do want safety and security. And then you question him again. You don't sit there and torture him with an interrogation for 17 hours. And that's the whole thing. In a nutshell, if that's absolutely everything right there. So, but look at this. I'm going to show you this. This is what they wrote up in the paper so you can see it. It's acceptable and perfectly legal. Police chief defends on social media for getting man to confess to murder, that he used psychological torture. A police chief in California has taken to social media to defend detectives who forced a man on medication for stress, depression, and high blood pressure to confess to his own father's murder, which never actually happened, through the use of what they called psychological torture. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened. And so, oh, that was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. Okay. Are you ready for the next video?
Verbalize anything you want, man. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's your pen. My guess is you should uphold your oath to the Constitution and treat free citizens like they're supposed to be treated. Right. Instead of issuing them citations. Is that right? Your registration. Oh, I see. Are you saying that your registration is currently valid? I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that you... Do you think that people shouldn't have to pay for their registration? I'm not going to answer any of those questions. All I'm saying is that you pulled me over for something and you want to pull me out of the car and conduct some type of investigation that had nothing to do with that. Because of your attitude and because of the dangerous thing that you were asking me to do. Like I said, you were being extremely aggressive. Am I being detained? Yeah, you're being detained. For what crime? Serve this ticket to you. Oh, I can see the ticket right here. Excuse me. I'd like to speak to a supervisor. I need a supervisor on this scene immediately, please. My supervisor, but the Supreme Court has ruled that I can have this traffic stop take place wherever I want. And it's happening. It's taking place. It's taking place. I can sign that. Sir. If you do not step out of your car so I can explain the citation to you, then you're going to be obstructing my investigation. This is an illegal stop. It's not illegal. What are you stopping me for? Citation for your license plate. And I'm accepting the citation. Okay. I'm going to need you to step out and sign it. And I can sign it. Window. They're rolled up. What? I can have my window. Reach my hand in your window. Okay. You don't need to put the clipboard through my window. I'm telling you. You're not. No, you just said you're asking me. Why am I ordered to step out of a vehicle? Because I'm going to have you sign. This is illegal. What you're doing. I need to speak with a supervisor. Call 911. Call 911. This is illegal. What is your name and badge number? Becker. A. Becker. Yep. You can easily put this through my window right here. Right. You have no reason to pull me out of this vehicle. You have no probable cause for any search. I do not consent to any searches. I am not your friend. You are a police officer who's illegally conducting a traffic stop right now. I demand a supervisor here immediately. And you have no legal right to pull me out of this vehicle. Supervisor here, friend. And yes, I do have every legal right to have you step. I have not committed any crime. You have not accused me of committing any crime. This is...
So here's the, when you get pulled over, you have to have a script that you follow. You invoke your Fifth Amendment right away, backed up by your camera, and then you stop talking. Putting this in your hand makes you go, oh, Fifth Amendment, okay, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. If he says get out of the car, you do have to get out of the car. You can fight that, and I give a long-winded explanation in this, but you flip the thing over, the trifold, flip it over, and you say, okay, I'll get out of the car, but I have a right to film police. And then right down here, it says that I have to get out of the car for officer safety. So you have to be able to prove that you believe I'm armed and presently a danger to you. And you could fight that if you could prove that on camera using your phone, but I just recommend you get out of the car and let him know violating the First Amendment on camera removes the cop's qualified immunity. You use the trifold from A to Z. You keep it in your hand. If he wants to search your car, you flip it right over. You can revoke consent. I can give consent. I can revoke consent. You follow the steps of the trifold so that you don't go through what this guy is going through. He's absolutely being harassed beyond belief. It's really sad to listen to him talk. I wish I could stop him.
Pull me out of this vehicle. You have no probable cause for any search. I do not consent to any searches. I am not your friend. You are a police officer who's illegally conducting a traffic stop right now. I demand a supervisor here immediately. And you have no legal right to pull me out of this vehicle.
Supervisor here, friend. And yes, I do have every legal right to have you step.
I have not committed any crime. You have not accused me of committing any crime. This is...
But he's just talking too much. If he wants you to get out, you showed him the law, you get out, you do not consent to searches or seizures.
You're pulling me
while I'm getting a supervisor, okay? You're
pulling me over for a registration.
Exactly, I explained that to you.
Okay, and what was you saw that in the middle of the night out here on the country road? What is the reason for pulling me over? You ran my plate. You just said you ran my plate. That's a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. You cannot just run my plate without reasonable suspicion of me committing a crime. That is illegal.
That's literally 100% incorrect.
That's literally 100% incorrect.
Unconstitutional. Wait, for you to run my plate without reasonable suspicion of a crime.
Here, I'm trying to serve this up in the citation.
And I'm accepting the citation. You can hand it through my window.
He wants to see a supervisor.
So we're at 3 minutes and 15 seconds on this video. We're going to come right back. The 2000, I believe it was 2020. Oh, the oral arguments were in 2019. The determination is in 2020. While on patrol, and this, I'm sorry, I didn't read you the case. It's Kansas versus Glover. The 2020 case of Kansas versus Glover. You have to know this. It's a huge intrusion into our rights. While on patrol, a Kansas City police officer ran a registration pickup on a pickup truck with a Kansas license plate. Upon running the check, the officer learned the truck was registered to Charles Glover and that his license had been revoked. Acting on suspicion that the owner was unlawfully operating the vehicle, based on the assumption that the registered owner of the truck was also the driver, the officer stopped the truck. The officer confirmed that Glover was the driver and issued him a citation for being a habitual violator of Kansas traffic laws. Glover moved to suppress all the evidence from the stop, arguing that the stop violated his Fourth Amendment right against unreasonable searches and seizures. According to Glover, the police officer lacked reasonable suspicion to pull him over. He ran his license plate. The state argued that the law enforcement officer may infer that the owner of the vehicle is the one driving the vehicle, absent of information to the contrary. And the knowledge that the owner has a revoked license combined with the inference gives rise to reasonable suspicion. This is an extension of Terry versus Ohio to conduct an investigative stop. The state trial court concluded that it's not reasonable for an officer to infer that the registered owner of the vehicle is also its driver and granted Glover his motion to suppress. The appellate court reversed and the Kansas Supreme Court granted review. The Supreme Court reversed the lower court, holding that the inference impermissibly stacked assumption and would relieve the state of its burden of showing reasonable suspicion for a stop. So they ruled in favor of Glover. So then it goes to the Supreme Court, and the constitutional question is, for purposes of an investigative stop under the Fourth Amendment, is it reasonable for an officer to suspect that the registered owner of a vehicle is the one driving the vehicle, absent of any information to the contrary? 8-1. Only Sonia Mayor voted against it. And they said, when an officer lacks information to the contrary, it is reasonable under the Fourth Amendment for the officer to assume that the driver of the vehicle is also its owner. And if the owner's license is revoked, to conduct an investigative stop of the vehicle. Justice Sonia Sotomayor authored a dissenting opinion arguing that the court's decision ignores key foundations of our reasonable suspicion jurisprudence and impermissibly and unnecessarily reduces the state's burden of proof. Justice Sotomayor disagreed with the majority, concluding that seizing the vehicle was constitutional because the driver with revoked licenses in Kansas have demonstrated a disregard for the law, arguing that its conclusion flips the burden of proof. You have to prove that you're innocent and not prove that you're guilty. So there it is.
Verbalize anything you want.
Okay. Thing on video.
So he's dead wrong on that. They can run his license plate, and they can even assume that the driver is the registered owner.
I did not say I'm refusing the citation.
That's exactly what you said.
You're more than welcome to hand it to me. No, I have the whole thing on video right now. The whole thing's been filmed. It's live streaming. Good.
What you understand is this. I'm not trying to have this with you. You're creating this issue.
No. I'm saying
to do something.
exactly right. You initiated violence against me by pulling me over in the first place.
I haven't done any violence.
I'm saying I will accept the citation.
Extortion is violence.
There's 2 inches of room right here. We can have an audible conversation
inside your car. That's
you don't have
a dangerous thing for me.
That's
to do.
dangerous. You know, first of all, I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to put the clipboard through the window.
Just because of your attitude, your extreme anger and aggression, you seem like a dangerous guy.
I'm not.
Anger and aggression. He's the one pulling him over. He's the one initiating the aggression by pulling the guy over.
Right, I'm a dangerous guy. No,
I'm sorry, sir. That's absolutely wrong. You're the one wearing the costume and the badge.
And accept this citation.
Oh man, having a woman like that by your side, wow, she's a champion.
And sign it.
I'm accepting the citation, and I'd like to be free to leave. Because
you're not free to leave until you complete receiving this citation. Do you understand?
Okay, that's fine, and that's why I asked for a supervisor because
listen. I've already explained to you legally, the Supreme Court has ruled that I can have this traffic stop take place wherever I want, which means if I feel that it's necessary for my safety, I can have you step out of the car to sign the citation.
Right. And so that, to answer your question, BZ Watchdog, he said, can a cop brutally put you in torture cuffs and in the back of a cop car without telling you that you're detained or arrested? Now, the policy of telling you you're detained each one's going to have its own police department that's going to determine that. But I guarantee you the policy is if he's going to put you in torture cuffs, he has to tell you you're being detained. And he can detain you the moment he sees you. The cop can see you and say, okay, I'm detaining you now. And their policy may be that he gets to put you in handcuffs. He can put you on your belly, stick his knees in your back, in your neck, and then put you in the back of the car, which is a cage, and strap you in. And you're not arrested. You're only detained. That's all because of Terry versus Ohio. Every single bit of what I just told you is Terry versus Ohio. And this case right here, the reason he's getting pulled over is because of Terry versus Ohio.
Which is what I am doing.
Have I committed a crime?
You are obstructing that right now.
Have I committed a crime?
What?
Have I committed a crime?
You're obstructing my service.
No. I can't obstruct something without committing a crime to begin with. What crime have I committed?
You're refusing my orders.
I'm not refusing your citation. I'm asking for
the citation. You're refusing my orders on this traffic.
Listen, I don't want to argue law with you because
you step out of this car and issue this citation to you at the back of your vehicle because I do not feel safe reaching my hands into your car with your current.
That's fine. That's why I'm asking for a supervisor.
I'm trying to have you do, but you're obstructing it.
I'm not obstructing anything.
Supervisor on the way. No problem. They're going to tell you the exact same thing that I just told you.
Okay.
So
we'll see.
I personally wish that you would just be.
I don't care about your personal.
I don't care about your personal.
Ticket.
I'm saying I'll sign the ticket. You won't give it to me.
Okay.
You can see my hands. Look, here's both my hands. Here's both my hands. You can see both my hands. You have your flashlight. You can look at my lap. There are no weapons
for me to reach my hands inside your car.
I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to put your clipboard through my window so I can sign the ticket and be on my way.
You're being deliberately obstructive.
I'm being assertive with you
so that you can take.
This is not.
We're exercising our rights as citizens.
Whatever. That's exactly what you.
This is for YouTube.
No, this is a problem. So that you can try to get me acting inappropriately, and then you can get.
No, I don't like to be harassed and extorted for arbitrary victimless crimes.
I'm trying to issue you a citation because
I'm saying I'll accept it.
More than 6 months ago, and you're refusing to accept.
Oh, really? When you looked it up on your computer, did you see that it was valid? No. Oh, no, you sure? Oh, but I thought you ran it. I thought you violated my Fourth Amendment and ran my license plate without me committing a crime.
The Fourth Amendment has nothing to do with public information, which is your license.
Yeah, see, the kid is completely mistaken, you know, and you guys have to know this so you don't lose yourself. The police can run your license plate. Everything that you don't think they can do when you're behind the wheel of a car, they can do. Because when they get to the judge, if it has anything to do with you operating a motorized vehicle, the judge is going to be on the cop side every single time, 100% of the time, 99.99999% of the time. So this cop can pull you over for just no. Now, if you give a cop the bird, read between the lines, if you give a cop the bird and he pulls you over from that, then you can say, I'm not going to get, if you say, why'd you pull me over? And he says, I pulled you over because you flipped me off. Now he's encroaching on free speech. Now you don't have to give him your ID. You might go to jail, but you're going to win in court. So, but you could go to jail. Depends on how big of a PIG that copper is.
Why do you think they put license plates on cars?
Did I commit a moving violation?
You're operating a vehicle with expired registration.
And how'd you find that out? Well, way back there,
your license plate.
Fourth Amendment violation
on the back of your license plate, which is pink.
And how'd you see that?
It should be.
And how'd you see that in the middle of the night?
To identify expired registration.
You saw that in the middle of the night out here in the country roads. You saw that. No, you saw my car. You know who I am.
I have no idea.
Oh no, you just said I was gonna put it on YouTube, but you don't know who I am. You know exactly who I am.
Okay. That's because you're recording me.
For my safety and your liability. I'm recording for my safety and your liability.
I'm recording you for the same reason.
Great. We're on the same page then. I'd like to sign this. I'm saying I'll sign it.
To do it. And
I'll sign it. I don't need to step out of the car and put myself at risk to your violence to sign a citation over a license plate. I'm saying.
Well, I agree with him right there. We're at 6 minutes and 45 seconds here. So this is the reason why they're there is because the 1915 case of Hendricks versus Maryland. And you go down here to the holding, it's going to be 619 right here. Okay, so the Maryland legislature, by effective act of July 1st, 1910, prescribed a comprehensive scheme for licensing and regulating motorized vehicles. The following summary sufficiently indicates its provisions: that the governor shall appoint a commission of motorized vehicles to power delegate assistants who shall secure enforcement of the statute. Before any motor vehicle is operated upon the highways, the owner shall make a statement to the commissioner and procure a certificate of registration. Thereafter, it shall bear a numbered plate. The certificate and plate shall be evidence of authority for operating the machinery during the current year. Code 133. Registration fees are fixed according to horsepower, $6 when 20 or less, 12 from 12 to 40, and 18 when in excess of 40 horsepower. No person shall drive a motor vehicle upon the highway until he has obtained the cost of a $2 operator's license, subject to revocation. So what you need to know is that Maryland's legislature was upheld, and that is the law of Maryland from 1915, and the only thing that's changed is the amount of the fees. That's right. That's the Supreme Court case right there, Hendricks versus Maryland. So do I think that it's a bit of a scam? Yeah. Would I advise you not to have your license, registration, and proof of insurance? Absolutely not. I would advise you to get your license, registration, proof of insurance put together on a laminated card, just like I did. Obviously, you want to do a laser copy of your license and then put the front and back so it can be scanned. And then you want that all to go inside of your trifold, and you want to invoke your Fifth Amendment right, followed up by your camera. And then if you get arrested, you send that to me and we'll help you, because that's crap. If you did everything right and you still get arrested and you don't have any warrants and you have your license, registration, and proof of insurance, I'll help you. Of course I will. Of course. My God, that's horrible. So that's the reason why. We're going to go right back to it. We're at 6 minutes and 15 seconds.
Anything you want, man. Okay. Operating a vehicle with expired registration.
And how'd you find that out? Well, way back there,
your license plate.
Fourth Amendment violation.
On the back of your license plate, which is pink.
And how'd you see that?
It should be.
And how'd you see that in the middle of the night?
To identify expired registration.
You saw that in the middle of the night out here in the country roads. You saw that. No, you saw my car. You know who I am.
I have no idea.
Oh no, you just said I was gonna put it on YouTube, but you don't know who I am. You know exactly who I am.
Okay. That's because you're recording me.
For my safety and your liability. I'm recording for my safety and your liability.
I'm recording you for the same reason.
Great. We're on the same page then. I'd like to sign this. I'm saying I'll sign it.
To do it.
And I'll sign it. I don't need to step out of the car and put myself at risk to your violence to sign a citation over a license plate. I'm saying
violence specifically.
Well, I agree with that, because if you step out of the car, he might consider that you're a risk to his safety, because he already called him angry and hostile for him standing on his rights and not. But he's talking way too much.
You're carrying a gun. You're holding me on the side of the road against my will to take my money for something, an arbitrary victimless crime.
I'm detaining you while you sign a citation.
And I'm saying I'll sign it.
You understand.
Do you have no reasonable suspicion of a violation of your safety or that I've committed any crime? You have no right to pull me out of the car.
Hands in your car.
I didn't ask you to. I'm saying put the clipboard through your car. If there was really a reason already.
So you're saying that if I put this clipboard through here, you're going to sign the ticket and we can all just get out of here?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying the entire time. I'm not going to bite your hand. I don't bite. I mean, unless you really want me to. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing you my hands.
All right.
So, look, I like that he's filming the interaction. Of course I do. Of course I want you to film everything. But I want you to have the camera facing you in your hand and tell the copper, I film cops' faces. This is how I do it. I want you to have the camera in your hand, because the camera in your hand empowers you. The camera goes in your hand. When there's a copper outside my door, the camera goes in my hand. That's how it goes. The camera goes in my hands, my license, my registration, just like this. If you're an activist and you're going to have that fight with the cop, the disagreement with the cop, God bless you. If you're not an activist, then you plead the fifth and you go home to your family. That's how it works. That's what you want to do. You don't, number one, having a back and forth with the cops, if you're not seasoned and trained and haven't done it a lot, is very difficult. And I don't recommend that you do it. I recommend you invoke your fifth.
Can you see this?
I can.
Okay. This is a promise to comply.
Okay.
Okay. It says, without admitting guilt, I promise to comply with the terms of this ticket and release.
Okay.
All right. This is your court appearance. I'm going to mark this as a no court appearance required.
Okay. I'll be there. Don't worry about that.
So he says, I'm going to mark it as you don't have to appear. And he says, I'm going to be there.
Okay. The court date is going to be at 10/13/16 at 9 a.m.
All right.
Right. This is for expired registration.
Okay.
There's the ILCS number right there.
Okay.
All right.
Do you really feel threatened by handing a clipboard through somebody's window, or is it really just about you having
not going to reach
claiming control over me and having me step out of the side of the car so you can conduct another investigation?
I have every legal right to do that, but to be honest,
you would have already broke my window.
I just don't really feel like talking to you anymore.
I see. Okay. Well, if that were the case and you actually had a legal right, you would have broke my window and tased me by mouth. But you know you'd be sued for that.
Absolutely no desire to do that.
Outright. Well, I would just want to let you know
I have no desire to prolong this contact. Why I'm not having you step out of the
because you have no legal right to. And I just want to verbalize that I'm signing this under duress, under extreme duress.
Verbalize anything you want, man.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. The judge is on the cop's side. Can you guys put that in the chat for me? The judge is on the cop's side. Is that, are we clear? Is that totally clear? I want to make sure everybody knows that. Anything you do or say right now, the judge is going to watch it. And so you want to make sure that you follow the steps, especially if you have the cop card, the driver card. There's 6 steps to the driver cop card, and you follow them exactly. Step 1, this is the 5A driver cop card. Step number 1, start filming and state, I invoke my First Amendment right. And then in blue is the law. The 2017 case of Turner versus Driver upholds your First Amendment right to film police. Number 2, cop approaches and states alleged infraction or questions you. While filming, give all the required legal documentation. State, I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. Fifth Amendment is unequivocal. Cop loses qualified immunity for questioning you. You can just read it to him, or you can show it to him after you say out loud, I invoke my fifth. Number 3, cop asks you to exit the vehicle like you're seeing in this video. While filming, exit and lock the doors, show this card, or state, I do not consent to searches or seizures. And it's the 1977 case of Pennsylvania versus Mims that allows him to tell you to get out of the car. Flip it over. Number 4, cop asks for consent to search. While filming, state, if I give you consent, then I can revoke consent by stating, I revoke consent, stop searching my automobile. The Fourth Amendment's upheld by the 2018 case, because there's some cops who are going to say, can I search your car? And you can say this in your hand. Yes, you can search my vehicle. And then when he goes to search the car, you say, oh, I revoke consent. It says right here on my card that if I can give consent, then I can revoke consent. The 2018 case of United States versus one. Cop says he smells Mary Jane. This case only applies to states that sell medicinal or recreational Mary. While filming, state or show this card and say smell is not probable cause, the 2021 case of Commonwealth versus Barr. And then number 6, cop says he's calling in a canine. While showing this card or state extending the stop violates my rights, 2015 Rodriguez versus United States. Extending a stop to call a canine without reasonable articulable suspicion of a crime is against my constitutional rights. That's how you do it. No, this is not, obviously, this is, I can't show my license, so I have Denzel Washington on here. And it's not the actual license, it's a photocopy of the front and back of your license. I teach people to do this all the time, and a lot of people don't. I see them get pulled over and they're not put together. And I'm like, how do you think it's going to go if you're not put together?
There you go. And that's your pen. My guess is you should uphold your oath to the Constitution and treat free citizens like they're supposed to be treated. Right? Instead of
issuing them citations.
Is that right?
Your registration.
Oh, I see.
Are you saying that your registration is currently valid?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that
do you think that people shouldn't have to pay for their registration?
I'm not going to answer any of those questions. All I'm saying is that you pulled me over for something and that you want to pull me out of the car and conduct some type of investigation that had nothing to do with that.
Because of your attitude and because of the dangerous thing that you were asking me to do. Like I said, you were being extremely aggressive.
That you just did willfully.
What?
That you just now did willfully. That was dangerous, huh? Are you afraid of your own shadow? Did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Can I have your name and badge number?
You didn't get that right off the bat? I mean,
dangerous, huh? Are you afraid of your own shadow?
I mean, these are fair questions. Look, this video is fairly old. I stand on the shoulders of people who were years ahead of me, and I saw their videos and I watched and learned.
Did you take an oath to uphold the Constitution?
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Can I have your name and badge number?
Can we go to your license back?
For 67. You said it earlier.
67?
On video.
Oh, I got the name. You said 67?
Yep.
You never gave me my license or insurance card back.
Here you go.
See how dangerous that was? Totally violent, right? Go fuck yourself.
Do you blame him? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. You can't stand highway robbery. Your registration was out, so I'm going to charge you a bunch of money. Thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing, Copper.
Now, what y'all doing?
Wow, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is there a 5th one in there? I can't see. Is there one over there? There's 4 for sure. 5. There's 5. There's the smallest one right there. So there's 5 full, and he's fighting to get his arm in there to get a shot at the guy.
I got 0. 1 nigga.
Oh man, got him by the neck up against the. Do you see that? See that? That is a black murder glove on his neck right there. That's what that is.
1 nigga.
Oh, look at that. He's got his arm across him. I mean, they all got him hemmed up. They're fighting to get their attack on the guy. The Asian guy pulls off, so now there's just 4 of them. Oh, so they were being JBTPs, because if not, so right there, if he wasn't in the wrong for what this guy did, see right there, watch this, ready? That's assaulting a police officer. That's battery. That's definitely attempted battery or even assault with battery. He's not going to arrest him because they're in the wrong. And then the Asian who was the first to peel off is the first one to come and give a cheap shot. What was that? It's just a gang. That's terrible. Oh, and then he pushes somebody right there. Who's he push? Oh, then he pushes the guy back again. This guy just wants to go to jail because he didn't want to get bullied. He's pissed. But the cops are not afraid.
Suck my dick.
Man, our cops, dude. Are you kidding me? Back the blue, right? When you see that, oh yeah, back the blue. Those guys are awesome. Thank God we have those guys on the force. Thank God we can see that on camera, see the bullying, see the gang activity. Thank God they're there. But don't you call them pigs. Don't you dare call them pigs. They hate that. The good cops can see this happen, and what are they doing about it? What is it? If you saw somebody, just make it real for a second. If you saw somebody at your work behaving the way these guys were behaving, whatever you do for a living, and you saw someone wearing the same uniform that you wear, and they're doing this to people, that is absolutely disgusting. That is disgusting. Don't you call them pigs, though, because if you call them pigs, then that makes you bad. And, I touched on this earlier. Everything you say and do will be on camera, and there will be a judge sitting there who is against you and for the cops. You guys have seen me go to jail. You've seen me go down the river. You've seen me get arrested 3 times in the past 3 years. You've seen me sue cops. You saw I got a partial summary judgment against the Las Vegas Metro Police right now. I've been down the road. You don't want to go to jail, and you don't want to get charges against you. And if you do, whatever you do and say will be shown to the judge. And so everything you say to the dirty JBTP, put it in the comment section for me, JBTP. Do you know what JBTP stands for? Put it in the comment section. You will be looked down upon by that judge if you say anything bad at all to the cop. Anything at all bad to the cop. JBTP going through the chat. What are we doing over here on Twitter? What are we doing over here on Twitter? There it is. Okay, cool. We're still live on Twitter. We're still live on Twitter. There we are. What's up, Playboy? There's more people watching on Twitter now than there is on the channel I have on YouTube with 623,000 subscribers. By the way, I know that I have 623,000 subscribers, not because, you watch it. You always watching your subscribers and all that stuff, right? But I've had 623,000 subscribers for 6 weeks. I swear to God, I've had 623,000. That's why I'm jumping over to X. I'm going over to X. That's why so many of you guys, make sure you follow on X and share the stream on your X account. If you just started X, here's a great way to make your stream. Just keep on retweeting the stream so that we can build a following on X. It matters so much. Remember, tonight is 2-for-1 trifolds. 2-for-1 trifolds. Go to deletelaws.com. deletelaws.com with a Z, 2-for-1 trifolds. And then I will give away let's do that. Let's give away a trifold. Who wants a free trifold? The first person to email me at deletelaws@gmail.com right here. Here's at gmail.com. The first, and you have to need it because they're $25 plus $11 shipping. So they're $36 for one. You can get a discount for 2 and 3, whatever. But you have to email me right now. There's my email address right now. The first person who emails me their full shipping address and their username to deletelaws@gmail.com, I will give you a free trifold. DeleteLaws@gmail.com. Did I put it up there? It's just like what you see in the corner right there. Let me check my email right now and see who I'm giving free trifolds to. Let's see. I got a new order, so I'm going to give another trifold away. That's 2. So I need 2 people right now to send me your email with your full shipping address. Make it easy for me so I can copy and paste it. Your name, full shipping address, zip code, Anywhereville, USA 23186. Send it to me right now. 2 people are getting free trifolds so far. How many we got? Who's sending me an email right now? DeleteLaws@gmail.com. There it is. Shoot me an email right now. 2 people are getting free trifolds right now. I'm sending them off. What's up, Playboy? Two free people. So let me get 2. Let's do 3 people. Let's do another one. If you can afford to buy one, go to my website and buy a trifold so I can keep giving a few more away. Well, Brian, you didn't put any shipping address in there, man. You're gonna miss. Brian, let me see. Brian, I still don't have a full shipping address. Oh man, Brian, you're gonna miss. I'm checking my email right now as I go. And then someone else. Oh man. Creeper. My old assistant. Ooh, Creeper. Email me. Oh, creepy. I got one person. Brian, I need your email address. I need at least 2 people, 3 people. I'll give away 3 free trifolds on X. Okay, how about that? Let's do that. Anybody who sends me it on X. I need your full shipping address. There it is. Let me check my email real quick. And then I got to get the flock out of here. Tim, there it is right there. Vanna in Connecticut. I just got a screenshot. You get a free trifold. Let me see who else I got. I have not heard anything at all. I have not heard anything at all. Let me see if I have another person who emailed me. There's one. Brian Z, get your email correct. Let me give away another one. I got Lenny. Lenny in West Virginia. Giving you a free trifold, my brother. Giving you a free trifold right now. Just got a screenshot. I'll ship that out to you tomorrow, Lenny. You get a free trifold. Who else? Let me see another one. Still standing, dude. I'm still standing. Charlie is 90% back. No, he's not. Wishful thinking. But he's not eating. I'm having to force him to eat. I'm having to put food in his mouth and close it and make sure that he eats. So I'm working on it. Let me see. Let me give away another free trifold. I want to give another free trifold. Someone ordered one, so that was going to be 3. And then I've got Steven in Ohio. Getting a screenshot. So I got Vanna. I got Steven. There's the screenshot I just took. Let me see if anybody else got their shipping address in. Jeffrey did. So I'm going to give a 4th one away to Jeffrey in Kentucky. Got you, Jeffrey in Kentucky. I got your email. So there's 4. And there's Brian Zander. I'm going to give a 5th one away to Brian Zander. That's it. And then I got to get the flock out of here. There it is, Brian Zander. Brian Zander, you know where you live. I'm not going to say it out loud. Listen, thanks you guys for joining me on X. I really appreciate it. Thanks to you guys for hanging out with me and watching a couple videos. I got to get the flock out of here. Thank you so much for. Do me a favor. Let's put it in the comment section real quick. OTVO. Overturn Terry versus Ohio. Put it in the comment section for me real quick so I can say Don DeBomb. Joel Juffis was here. Listen, I know I'm slacking on teamdlz.com. I've been doing nothing but just hang out with my dog. I jump on to go live. I haven't made any videos. I haven't done any edits. I've just been hanging out with my dog. That's all I've been doing. Just trying to get him to eat, laying with him, petting him. That's all I've been doing. Lenny, Jack, thanks for coming. Dakota Wolf, Daniel, nice to see you. April, I know April was here. I know Lenny was here. Northeast Colorado Cop Block. I know, dude. I want to hang with you, Northeast. I know. I've only been on for an hour. I actually have. I could stay I could stay maybe for one more video. I could do maybe one more video. I could do maybe one more because there's a few videos that I wanted to cover. And I gave away 5 trifolds. For any trifold that I sell during this live stream, I'll give another trifold away, and I'll give you an extra trifold for if anybody orders during this next video. And let me pull it up. Here it is. This video right here. Well, let's finish this one too.
Suck my dick,
Story we are following involving a San Antonio police officer who.
So this officer accidentally kills his own canine after neighbor's dog.
Investigators say shot 2 of his neighbor's dogs and then accidentally shot his own canine partner over the.
You can't make this stuff up.
Story we are following involving a San Antonio police officer who investigators say shot 2 of his neighbor's dogs and then accidentally shot his own canine partner over the weekend. This happened Saturday on San Antonio's northwest side. Investigators say the off-duty police officer shot at 3 dogs attacking his canine in his backyard. The officer's neighbor's dogs broke through the fence and started attacking his canine. Police say the off-duty officer and his wife tried to separate the dogs, but were unsuccessful. The off-duty officer shot at the dogs. The canine was hit along with 2 of the neighbor's dogs. One of the neighbor's dogs.
So this is a reaction video. I'm going to jump in here. As you guys know, a canine handler is an abusive, disgusting, mega JBTP. Jack Booth Thug. Right? That's what a canine handler is. They abuse dogs to make them mean. They give them treats for alerting to arrest you. That's what a canine handler does. It's his goal to have his dog bite you so that he can watch. And then he's going to say, "Dad, a boy, that's a good boy," and pet him and love him, and then walk around with a spring in his step because he got to watch his dog savagely attack you. That's what canine cops are. And I'm sorry, but that's just the rock bottom truth. I've been doing this for years, and that's their goal, to watch their dog attack you. So now you have a truthful perspective from someone who's watched hundreds of thousands of police videos.
And the canine died. We did talk to the owners of the dogs involved.
My dogs play with any dog in the world. They're not going to try to kill you, none of that, you know what I mean? My dogs is house dogs.
What did he say?
With any dog in the world. They're not going to try to kill
So
trying to kill you, none of that, you know what I mean? My dog kill you, trying to kill you, none of that, you know, in the world. They're not going to try to kill you, none of that.
I'm sorry. His dogs got killed. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? My dogs is house dogs. My dogs not fighting dogs. They're not outside dogs. You know what I mean? They backyard dogs. We walk them around. We take them to the dog park. You know what I'm saying? My dogs were just, they family. That was my sons.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have made fun of him.
The couple has been cited for failing to restrain dogs. The unidentified officer, is now on administrative duty. And right now, we are pressing to learn more about what happened here. We have many questions, which include, what is the fate of the neighbor's dogs? When is the neighbor's court date? What consequences could be faced by the off-duty officer and the neighbor? And did the off-duty officer fire his service weapon? We reached out to the police department for any updates involving the attack, and we'll update you when we hear back.
So the 2013 case of Florida versus Harris. I'll give you a little summary because I haven't read the summary very often, but Officer Wheatley pulled Harris over. Harris was a black guy. All of our constitutional rights, a good portion of them are against black defendants who lose, and then they apply one to all for all of us. So Wheatley pulled over Harris for a routine traffic stop. Wheatley sought consent to search, of course, just like I showed you in the trifold. Harris's truck, based on Harris's nervousness, seeing an open beer can. When Harris refused, Wheatley executed a sniff test with his trained narcotics dog. with his trained narcotics dog, trained to alert, of course, who alerted the driver's side door, leading Wheatley to conclude that he had probable cause to search. The search turned up nothing. Aldo was trained to detect but did not reveal ingredients for manufacturing METH. Harris was charged with illegal possession of those ingredients in a subsequent stop while Harris was out on bail. Aldo again alerted at Harris's truck, but nothing of interest was found. So as you go down here, it's going to eventually get to the point where it says to you, and I'll show you the exact point here. Because training and testing records supported Aldo's reliability in detecting chemicals and Harris failed to undermine that evidence, Wheatley had probable cause to search Harris's truck. Probable cause is determined by a dog barking. That's the 2013 case of Florida versus Harris. And this is one thing to see that probable cause, Aldo's reliability in detecting chemicals and Harris has failed to undermine the evidence. Wheatley had probable cause, and you can get down into it where it literally blatantly says that the dog alerting on your car upon the correct approach of probable cause hearing, focusing on the dog's alert, should proceed, but it doesn't. It doesn't. You can challenge the dog's reliability under a probable cause hearing, but that's after you go to jail and they maybe do a cavity search and get an x-ray of your stomach. So it's that if a dog barks, and so check this out. Florida versus Harris, if a dog barks, unanimous decision. Every single Supreme Court justice said that. Does a drug dog detection alert to an exterior of a vehicle provide an officer with probable cause to conduct a warrantless search of the interior of the vehicle? Yes, it does. A unanimous court reversed the Florida U.S. Supreme Court. The Florida Supreme Court said, no, it definitely violates their rights to bring a dog to smell their car. But then the U.S. Supreme Court said, no, they rejected the court's lower rigid standard that police officers show evidence of a dog's reliability. So this case is 2013. We now know in 2024, Chevy, we now know that drug dogs are wrong most of the time. They're incorrect. The data, the empirical data is in. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. Thanks for the super chat. I'm just seeing it. Plead the fifth. Where you been, brother? Where you been? Good to see you plead the fifth. Daniel, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate all you guys. Now, listen, I do got to get the flock out of here. I would love to stay with you guys all night. And I promise tomorrow we'll do a late one. If you guys want to do one tomorrow night, I'll do one tomorrow night with you guys. I do have to get the flock out of here. I love you. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Remember, trifolds are 2 for 1 today, tonight, until tomorrow morning. 2 for 1. Go to deletelaws.com. Get a trifold, 2 for 1. And do I have anybody else that email me? I'm giving away 5 trifolds. Let me just check my email and just see if anybody else emailed me and they were thinking, I hope I can get a free trifold too. First Amendment auditor. Got you, brother. First Amendment authorized advocate. In Massachusetts, I got you, brother. I'll ship you off a trifold. I'll ship you off a trifold and a pair of cop cards. All right, you got it. Listen, I got to get the flock out of here. Thank you guys for the super chat. Chevy! Thank you, brother. Cope Doggy Dog. AMG Stealth, my prayers are up with you. I hope everything's going okay in your life. I plead the fifth. Absolutely love you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks, Sacramento Community Cop Watch. Joel Juffis, of course. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. Call to Duty Auditor. Nice to see you. Rising Tide Oceans Outreach. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Plead the fifth. I got to get the flock out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators. Gloria.